It is such a fun time of year, and I want to tell you why. So welcome to Candy Shoppe Yarns, where everything is sugar-free and high in fiber. I am Deborah, the owner of Candy Shoppe Yarns, and this is the ultimate destination for knitting and crochet enthusiasts. And in this special episode, I want to share with you something that I made as a secret swap. So every year, my knitting group, we get together in the spring at one of our monthly gatherings. And those who want to participate, I've talked about this for several years now, will bring a skein of yarn. And what we do is we fill out a paper that I have that has like your name on it, your Ravelry username, so people can see what patterns you like. You can put your Pinterest account on there so people can see colors you like, things that hand knitted or crocheted things you like, things you don't like. There's an assortment of things that you can fill out on there so that people can get to know you better. And then you will put this skein of yarn with that paper in a bag, and it gets closed up, and then they get swapped around, and you don't know who gets yours and you don't know whose yarn you're going to get. And then you open it up and you see who you have, and you make something for them with that skein of yarn. Then in the fall, we get together again and we bring our gifts all wrapped up and give it back to the recipient. It is such a fun time of year because it is a time where you really feel spoiled because somebody has been thinking about you all year while they work on this project, and that just means so much. So I want to show you what I have made for my with the skein of yarn for my recipient. Are you ready? The yarn was from Yarn Cafe Creations. This is the ball band, and it was on biscotti sock, and the color was Marry Me. This is what I have left of the yarn. And it's fingering weight yarn and 100 grams. And I made this little bunny. So the recipient is actually my sister. Come on over here, Nana. Come on. The recipient is my sister, and on her paper, she wrote down some things that she liked, and one of them were toys, baby toys for the grandchildren. And I thought this would be such a sweet, squishy, cuddly gift to have for the grandkids. So I needed another color for the body, and this base is a different base, and guess who has this same base? My sister Emily. So I purchased this yarn from her and just used some of it for the nose and for the body, and then for the tail. And I made the tail with a pom-pom maker, and I sewed it on and glued it on so that it would be nice and secure. So this pattern was a free pattern, and I'm going to tell you, it was not my favorite. I will link it below. I believe I have the pattern to link. If I can find it, I will link it below. I was careful to make sure I got gauge. Was there even a gauge on there? I'm trying to remember. Mostly what it was is I wanted to make sure that I knit the body, tight enough, because knitted things will stretch and stretch and stretch. And when you go to stuff them, you want stuffed toys to be really firm, and that's how they will hold up. But you can't stuff a knitted toy until it's firm, because it will just keep spreading and spreading and spreading. So like the stitches on the foot here, can you see how much that spread? And I was working so hard to make sure it didn't do that. but still get it stuffed enough. And then trying to keep the proportions correct. Like this arm, I didn't stuff past here, but you know, it kind of shifts up and it looks gigantic. But I was trying to stuff it, you know, like the same amount as I stuffed everything else. And then the head looks much smaller in proportion to the rest of the body, especially compared to the photo. But if I stuffed it the same, like, so it was the same proportions as the body, then the stitches would have been too spread out. So that was a challenge to try to figure out the balance of how much to stuff it and to have it hold up and look good. And then to have the sturdiness to sew it on and stay in place. But it's meant to sit, like it's designed to sit. So you sew the legs on in a sitting position. So I place them in the sitting position and stitch it on. And it can still be like that, but that's what it's meant to do. And then the tail helps hold it up so that it will stay sitting upright. I think that it's very sweet. It's a sweet pattern, like a sweet design, but I really struggled with getting the proportions correct when stuffing it. And then the eyes are sewn on, or are sewn, they're embroidered, and the nose. And then the body here, the separate color is done with intarsia, and I have to say I've done that before. Oops. Well, I thought I had turned my camera on when I had actually turned it off. So now this is a different day. I'm just finishing up. I was talking about how I had done intarsia before, but it was on the heel of a sock and it was so finicky. I did not enjoy it and I decided never to do it again. But I ended up doing that on the bunny and it was not hard at all. I don't know, maybe it was because I was a, you know, newer kind of knitter, and so now I'm more comfortable with trying new things, but I enjoyed it a lot. So now what I need is I need a way to wrap and present this bunny. And I had this idea that I wanted to find a little house or a little box or something for the bunny, and I couldn't find anything. So I decided I'm going to make a little house for this bunny that is a gift box. So let's see, how did I make this? How does it all turn out? And what does she think of it?
Okay, so I have drawn out a diagram of what I want to make for a box. I decided to come to my husband's sign shop to create my own, and I've cut it out. Now I'm doing the tedious part of peeling away the extra parts for the flaps. Okay, in the roof, I just cut some strips to reinforce the roof because what I'm going to do is, Jason also just made me some custom plastic washers. I'm going to take 2 of these and put one on either side of the roof peak and put a hole through those. And then that will be coming out of the roof here, and I'll have a rope handle here. Here is the box that I have made. And what I want to do is where it has this corrugation showing here and here, maybe here and here, we'll see. I want to fill that in. So doing some research online of how to do that, there were several ideas, one of them being to use spackle or joint compound. I don't know if it's also called joint compound. That might be something else. I don't know if this is the right kind, but this is what I have. So I'm going to try. And I've got this tool, but I may just use my fingers. So let's see how it goes. Just kind of want to push it into the edges, into the grooves. That seems to be working. Let's keep on doing it. So I can let this dry and try and sand off any high spots. That actually was pretty darn easy, so I might go ahead and try doing this edge as well. Okay, so this part was easy to do, but this part was hard. Oh, trying to do the peak, I just found I would kind of rub this direction. It would push the product into the groove. But along this edge, it was much harder. So what I did is I finally ended up getting a chunk of this stuff in my hand. And let's see if I can make it so you can see. I pushed it down in like this. Yes, it's a mess. And I had to do this several times, just pushing it in with my finger. And when I was done, I would go rub off all the excess on the outside. So it took me a while, but in the end, I got a nice smooth finish here. We'll see if I can do that here. Ah, that's going better now. This is what I wanted. Oh, this is so messy. Oh, just like a true professional. Well, now I'm deciding how difficult I want to make this. After looking on Pinterest and seeing this photo, it makes me want to add texture to mine. I was gonna keep this so simple. All I was gonna do was wrap this in some like gift wrap paper and tie a bow on it. But now it's got to be more. I hope I don't regret this. I probably will. Let's see. Let's try it on the back first. I'm gonna close this up. What happens if I just add some you can't really see the texture very well. Just trying to give it a base texture. The problem I'm finding already is the corrugation shows up. Oh no, that will smooth it out actually. That's smoothing it out in some areas. I think this will work. Okay, keep going. Okay, so this simple gift box house project has become something of its own project. So I just went out to my craft room and got a scrap piece of chipboard that I have used to do other crafting on, and it's kind of grungy. This side has bits of dried glue on it, and I just cut it up into strips, what I had left, and then one strip I only cut part way through, and I'm going to do a roof kind of thing where I will glue one slat on and then overlap the next one and the next one and the next one until I get to the top, and I will put this over the top. gift box. And in the end, that became as much of a project as the
Oh my
inside.
God! Look at this.
So I hand constructed and painted.
I did.
So it's my own little playhouse.
Cute.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, you just keep it up, my friend. Oh my gosh.
She came in her own little house.
Oh my gosh, now I know what yarn I put in. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Look at his tail. Her tail. This is, yeah, her tail.
Is it a she bunny?
Look, okay, in here, there's a little wooden floor. The floor is like a wooden floor. So
Fun.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
A little home for house. Well, see, now your grandkids will have a little place for the bunnies to.
Okay, you have to do a picture.
come up with the perfect name.